Hey up, it's Steve from that old Yorkshire Geek, and welcome to Rumble Wednesday, my weekly midweek news roundup of just news items that have caught my eye, exclusive to Rumble for 24 hours. So let's hit an intro. By the way, I'm recording this as live. I'm not doing it live, it's as live, so you'll be getting it, uploaded within the hour, so it's as near to live as you can get it. So let's hit an intro, and then we'll get on with it. Right, I'm back. So let's get the news up. Mostly Star Wars news, because Star Wars is dominating the news lately because of Star Wars Celebration that was last weekend over Easter. But a couple of Star Trek stories as well. And nothing else has caught my eye. Nothing else has... I'm sure there's other things happening, but nothing else has caught my eye. So, and that's what it's all about in my book. Right, Andor Season 2. This is from the Direct. As usual, links are in the description down below. And don't forget, what is it? Is it like and follow on Rumble? Like and follow, share the videos, drop a comment. If you're on YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube tomorrow, in the future, hit the notification bell. As I said, I'm also, as I usually say, I'm also on Rumble, but I'm also on YouTube and Spotify and Amazon Music Podcasts and Google Podcasts. They'll appear when... tomorrow in 24 hours. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Links for those are in the description, as are links to my two books. Silent Predator, a short horror novella. It's only a little, look. And Mercury Rapids, there it is. A light-hearted sci-fi action adventure about UFOs, abductions, and all that stuff. And it's all a bit of fun. It's on Amazon, Kindle and paperback. Give it a whirl if you want to. If you don't, right? Andor Season 2 Disney announces surprise return of, spoilers, we will find out who. There's Diego Luna as Cassian Andor. I really enjoyed Andor. I thought it was pretty good. But then I'm a Rogue One fan. I really enjoyed Rogue One, so there. Right, one major character from Season 1 of Andor appears to be returning for the upcoming second season of the Star Wars series. Season 2 of Andor is well into production, and fans were just given a sneak peek of what's on the way at the recent Star Wars celebration in London, England. It was revealed previously that the upcoming season will tell individual stories in arcs that each last 3 episodes, and the in-universe time between each arc will be 1 year, leading up to the very beginning of Rogue One. The footage that was released at Celebration did include many different characters that are set to return in Season 2, but it apparently didn't show everyone. And here we go, Andy Serkis set to return in Andor Season 2, and there he is, as Kino Loy. According to the official press release from Disney regarding Star Wars Celebration, Kino Loy actor Andy Serkis is set to return in Season 2 of the Andor Disney Plus series. The last time that fans saw Andy Serkis's Kino Loy was in Episode 10's One Way Out, where he couldn't muster up the courage to take the plunge to safety during the Imperial prison break on Narkina 5. Well, he said he couldn't swim. Like that, I can't swim. I'd have jumped anyway and learned. I'd have learned on the way down. But anyway, maybe he did. We'll see. Disney included Serkis on Andor Season 2's cast list, meaning that the actor is set to come back in some capacity. Another actor on the list is Mohanad Baher, who notably didn't appear at all in Season 1 of the series. This indicates that the Season 2 press release did update the cast list from the first season, and including Serkis was no mistake. Alongside Serkis and Baher, on Andor Season 2's official cast list are returning stars Diego Luna, Cassian Andor, Adria Arjona, Bix Colleen, the gorgeous Bix Colleen, I think he's dead nice, Denise Goff as Dedra Miro, Kyle Soller as Cyril Khan, and Genevieve O'Reilly, the lovely Genevieve O'Reilly, as Mon Mothma. How will Andy Serkis play into Andor Season 2? Is he going to be playing Kino Loy, or is he going to be playing Snoke? Ooh, but no, because it's set before that, isn't it? But Snoke said he was there, didn't he? He said he saw the Empire rise and fall, so I don't know. They don't know either. They just make it up as they go along, don't they? In the words of Indiana Jones, another Lucasfilm property that they're currently butchering. Anyway, while Kino's fate was definitely left up in the air, many assumed that he was either killed by the Empire due to the fact that he was helping build parts for the Death Star, or was placed back in the prison indefinitely. There is a chance that he could have somehow escaped in a different way, but it would be unlikely. The most likely scenario is that following the prison break, Kino was captured once again and transferred to another facility off-world. Due to his many contacts and resources, it wouldn't be a stretch to theorise that Luthen could end up finding the whereabouts of Kino and be interested in bringing him in, since he not only worked on the Death Star, but also became fairly close to Cassian. I know, but he didn't know he were working on the Death Star, did he? I don't think any of them did. They were building parts, weren't they? They didn't know what they were parts for. Anyway, when it comes out, Andy Serkis may not have a major role in Season 2 of Andor, but the veteran actor will apparently return in some capacity. Season 2 of Andor is set to be released on Disney Plus sometime in 2024. So yeah, it'll be interesting. It probably will be Kino Loy, but it could be somebody else. It could be doing his motion capture or whatever, couldn't it? For all we know. Or he could be doing a voice. He could be doing a voice of an alien. We don't know. Or most likely it's going to be Kino Loy again. He could have got off. He could have jumped and somebody could have helped him swim to shore. Or he could have gone up and gone to the flight deck and stole a shuttle. Anything could have happened. Or he could have been recaptured or whatever. We will see. But that's interesting. It's nice to see him back. He didn't give any clues, did he, in Star Wars Celebration? He did mention that people were suggesting he was going to come back as Snoke, and that Kino Loy was somehow Snoke. He kind of suggested that. But anyway. Sticking with Andy Serkis, here he is on filmnews.co.uk. Never heard of him. He says, I'd love to direct a Star Wars movie. And there he is in a horrible jacket. Anyway. Andy Serkis wants to direct a Star Wars movie. The 58-year-old actor has revealed that he'd love to direct a Star Wars film, admitting that the franchise holds a huge fascination for him. Asked about the possibility of helming a Star Wars movie, Andy told Screen Rant, I would love to. I really would, genuinely. I think that this universe holds a huge fascination for me. I think I am one of the rare actors who's had the opportunity to play two characters in it, but I would love to. Andy played Supreme Leader Snoke in the Star Wars sequel trilogy and Kino Loy in Andor, the Star Wars Disney Plus series. Andy previously revealed that he'd love to direct an episode of Andor. The veteran actor admitted he was open to the idea, even though he hadn't discussed it with Disney. I'm spitting. Asked about the possibility of directing an episode, Andy told Collider, oh wow, I hadn't thought of that. I mean, the thing is, yeah, that would be an amazing thing. I don't know what the future holds for Kino Loy. Who knows? He might be stuck on that ship or whatever. I don't know. But let's see. I haven't had any discussions yet. Well, obviously he has. If he's on the cast list, see, they just lie, don't they? But I don't know. We'll have to see what everybody thinks of it and the outcome. Look, even if Kino Loy goes no further, the short answer to your question is yeah. That would be a thrilling thing to do, to be part of the other side of it. On the other side of the camera for this world would be amazing. So there we go. And he's an accomplished director in his own right. He's done films and stuff. So that'd be good as well. Because they like giving people they like giving them chances, don't they? Like Bryce Dallas Howard, etc. And Carl Weathers. They've had a chance to direct, haven't they? Right. Sticking with Star Wars. There she is. Obi-Wan Kenobi actress questions how anyone can believe escape scene from Fortress Inquisitorius. This is I forgot her name. Vivian. Is it Vivian Lyra Blair? Something like that, isn't it? We'll find out in a minute. She played the young Princess Leia in the terrible Obi-Wan Kenobi series. But she was amazing. Not in the series, she wasn't amazing, but she was amazing in the panel at Star Wars Celebration. She was the best thing about it. She was the most intelligent thing about it. All the adult actors were like guffawing and drooling like idiots, and she was the one giving the most insightful responses to questions. Anyway, Obi-Wan. Start that again. Obi-Wan Kenobi actress Vivian Lyra Blair. Oh, all right for once. You know what I'm like with names. Who plays a young Leia Organa in the show, recently questioned how anyone could believe the escape depicted in the series when she and Kenobi attempted to flee Fortress, I can't talk, Inquisitorius. I'll have to have a drink. of me cold coffee. Right. In episode 4 of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, Kenobi infiltrates Fortress Inquisitorius. I hate that name. It's a stupid name. I mean, why they stick all the Inquisitorius bit at the end of it? I mean, it's Latin, isn't it? They don't speak Latin in a galaxy far, far away. Drinking game. I just had one. Anyway, why don't you just call it the Inquisitor's Fortress? Just call it that. Anyway, in an order to rescue Leia, who had previously been captured by Reva and taken there, with a bit of child abuse, thrown in for it, screaming and torturing her. Anyway, after freeing her from Imperial capture within the fortress, Kenobi then attempts to smuggle her out by hiding her underneath a set of Imperial clothes as they walk through the busy landing area of the fortress. It was ridiculous. It was hilarious, but it was ridiculous as well. It was proper Scooby-Doo stuff. Should have had the Scooby-Doo music playing and sound effects and stuff. do, 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 and the little legs going underneath the coat. During an Obi-Wan Kenobi panel, and there it is, by the way, she's under there. During an Obi-Wan Kenobi panel at Star Wars Celebration 2023, Blair pointed out how ridiculous the entire idea and questioned how anyone could fall for it. She said, "I remember the scene where I was in the court. I was inside the Imperial officer's court, and I kept poking my head out to look around at the set, and he kept trying to push me back in, and it was really funny. I just kept saying, how is anyone believing that this random lump inside this guy's coat is just normal? How is this happening?" But it was a lot of fun, she added. And here's is this just going to be that?
In the
I remember the scene where I was in the coat. I was inside the Imperial officer's coat, and I kept like poking my head out to look around at the set, and he kept like trying to push me back in. And it was really funny. I kept just saying, like, how is anyone believing that this random lump inside this guy's coat is just normal? How is this happening? But
There we go. There we go. And what's going on with Ewan McGregor there? He's where is he? There he is. His big moustache and his stripy. Is he going French? Does he think he's becoming a French farmer or something like that, or something? He should have a string of onions around his neck. Anyway, as Nick from there he is. That's Nick, by the way, from Echo Based Network. As Nick from Echo Based Network astutely points out in the video above, nobody believed it. It was some Scooby-Doo type crap that they put in that show, and he's right. Great minds think alike, eh? In fact, the episode in which this scene occurs is the worst rated episode of the entire show on IMDb. It has a terrible 6.4 average user score. The median is 7 and the mean is 6.1. And there it is. Whatever, I don't know. That's just gobbledygook to me. Lucasfilm should start asking Blair for advice on whether or not they should include certain scenes. She clearly has a knack for pointing out completely and utterly ridiculous notions that anyone but a Lucasfilm executive would think people would believe or fall for. Another one in the same episode with the speeders, like the snow speeders that we saw in Empire Strikes Back. They used a couple of those that suddenly could millions of people, well, lots of people could suddenly fit in them. We only saw 2 previously, but suddenly they could fit like 4 people in. But there was a bit in that where it showed them from behind coming in and shooting, and they thought, well, they've nowhere to go. They were heading for like a solid wall in the fortress, and you could see, and they thought, where are they going to go? So they just crashed into the wall. Basically, it was stupid, and it was really badly made. What do you make of Blair's comments about this scene from Obi-Wan Kenobi? I'm sure you think, yeah, I agree with her. It was stupid, and she agrees as well. But she'd do it again because they're actors and they've got to do as they're told. Anyway, so there you go. That's that one. Still with Star Wars. Go away. This should be fun. It's from the Washington Post. Oh, go away. We might get to read all this. We'll see what happens. It's one where you've got to sign up. But we'll see. It's time for Star Wars fans to get excited about movies again. I'm presuming this is going to be about... I haven't read it, by the way. I'm presuming this is about the 3 Star Wars films that have been announced. Probably won't happen. I mean, one of them might. Let's say out of the 3, one of them might. After a polarising trilogy, the franchise's new slate of releases could make it a cinematic force again. And there's Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano. I'm doing well with names today, aren't I? I haven't forgotten any yet. There's time. Right, if ever there was a time for the Star Wars universe to channel the words of the Wire's Stringer Bell, pardon me, it is now. This faraway galaxy, close, not drinking game close, wouldn't have been... By the way, I don't know. The Wire Stringer Bell, I'm presuming that's a character. I've never seen The Wire, so there you go. This faraway galaxy wouldn't have been faltered for flooding its social media accounts with one of Idris Elba's most popular memes. Is he in The Wire? All right. One frequently used when a sports franchise is on the up and up. I want you to put the word out there that we back up. Simply put, that we back up. Yeah, I see what it means. Simply put, Star Wars on the big screen seems to have finally gotten its groove back. I won't go that far. There hasn't been this much hype for the franchise based solely on potential since Disney first acquired Lucasfilm. You're doing the hype, Mr. Washington Post person. There isn't any hype that I've seen. In fact, I kind of live in a bubble. Basically, most people live in a bubble. You know, they follow what they're interested in, so they hear what they're interested in. And basically, all the people that I watch on YouTube and, you know, the people that I know are not excited in the slightest because Disney's not got a great track record, has it, when it comes to Star Wars movies? Although I keep saying I love Rogue One. And I did like The Force Awakens, but they kind of ruined that, didn't they? But never mind. And Solo lost money. Anyway, and there was no bigger announcement than a planned return to theatres. James Mangold, Dave Filoni and Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy will each direct a Star Wars film. Maybe. Mangold's will take place 25,000 years before Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope and tell the story of the discovery of the Force and the first Jedi to wield it. So will it be set on Jeddah then? The moon Jeddah? Because was that where the Force were first discovered? I don't know. Star Wars whisperer Filoni's film will conclude the interconnected stories being woven between The Mandalorian, the Book of Boba Fett and the soon-to-debut Ahsoka series, which looks really good. From the trailer, anyway. That looks really good. But hopefully it'll be better than Season 3 of The Mandalorian, which hasn't been great. I've not hated it, but it's not been great. The latest episode, I've got my flash review up. It's not that good. There's lots of action. You'd think from my review, the video I've used in my review, you'd think it's action from start to end, but it's not. It's quite boring, despite the action. Kind of like The Mummy, Tom Cruise's The Mummy. Lots of action in that. Crap film, boring. Godzilla King of Monsters. Loads of monsters in that. Boring. It's, I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, Obaid-Chinoy's film will usher in the return of Daisy Ridley as Rey. Huzzah! Hashtag sarcasm. All right, first. The film will take place 15 years after Rey's last appearance in Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Palpatine, and focus on her attempt to rebuild the Jedi Order. Because she's a master, apparently, with no training. At least Luke had a bit of training, didn't he, for a couple of weeks or whatever. They were on Dagobah. The most recent trilogy of films was more polarising than popular, which is why we haven't had a Star Wars movie in theatres since 2019. Kylo Ren and his dark side-fueled rage, combined with the predictable redemption arc and the grumpy Luke Skywalker, weren't enough to build up demand for more. Because they butchered the original trilogy characters, didn't they? Literally they did. Killed them all. The Star Wars brand was at a standstill, with the only goodwill coming from successful animated series such as The Clone Wars and Rebels. But then The Mandalorian came along, and the unstoppable cuteness of Baby Yoda helped build a bridge back to theatres. Star Wars at its core is a theatrical experience. It was born in a movie theatre, and with this upcoming slate, it looks as if it won't have died in one. We'll see. But not everything is all roses. As shocking as Ridley's return is, it will only be as good as who is along with her for the ride. Episodes 7, 8 and 9 saw John Boyega playing a black stormtrooper. Why are you saying that? Why are you saying that? He played a stormtrooper, Finn, who was later revealed to be an intergalactic janitor. That was stupid. I mean, in the books, they released some books about Finn, and he was supposed to be like this ace stormtrooper, a squad leader and all that, who was like top of his group. And then they made him a janitor. That's J.J. Abrams for you. And Oscar Isaac as a hot-headed Latino pilot. Yeah, because they have Latinos, do they, in a galaxy far, far away drinking game. Poe Dameron. I did the lip bite. And they introduced Kelly Marie Tran, Rose Tico, to a toxic corner of Star Wars fandom not accustomed to or interested in diversity. What a load of bollocks. This article's getting on my nerves already. Her character, she's fine, Kelly Marie Tran. Her character was garbage and written garbage, and she did stupid things in the film. She's fine, as an actress. She did as she was told. She hit her marks, said her lines. Don't blame her. It's the media that blames them and tries to accuse fans of blame, of like racism and toxicity. But it's all a load of nonsense. You can always just watch the old movies, folks. We can't, can we? Because George ruined them as well, didn't he, with his special edition. Apart from Empire, which, the only one that's kind of improved. But anyway. Where were we? None of those characters were given storylines worthy of their abilities, and Ridley's Rey was anointed as the chosen Jedi. She was a bit overpowered. A bit OP, as the kids say. Boyega was even used as a red herring in trailers for The Force Awakens, when he was seen holding a lightsaber. Yeah, because he did use a lightsaber in the films. He wasn't very good with it. But in the movie, he was figuratively handed a mop. Not figuratively, well, kind of figuratively. He wasn't literally handed a mop, that's what I'm trying to say. Finn was shown to have Force-sensitive abilities. Kind of, they alluded to it. But it wasn't actually said outright. Rey can't build a new Jedi Order by herself. This new batch of films is an opportunity to right a wrong and have Boyega star as a Jedi, with the potential to be just as undeniably cool as Samuel L. Jackson was as Mace Windu. I won't be surprised if he is in it, to be honest, because he's kind of been saying nice things about Star Wars recently, hasn't he? But so I won't be surprised if he's going to be in it. Even Jar Jar Binks is a Jedi now, after the actor behind the much criticised character from the prequels, Ahmed Best, was deservedly given a heroic new Star Wars role as Kelleran Beck on The Mandalorian, which were actually the best part of that episode. His scenes, he actually did a really good role there. Did Ahmed? Pardon me, burping. I know I say it all the time. I'm recovering from a delicious brunch. I always have my brunch before I do these shows. I never learn. Boyega and the other actors of colour, see, they're going on. It's the press that goes on about it. From the last trilogy, deserve better than they were given. Yeah, but that's not the fans' fault. That's the writers' fault. But that's only if they actually want to return. Star Wars streaming on Disney Plus also looks to get stronger. After debuting a spectacular new trailer for the Ahsoka series, yeah, it looks really good, starring Rosario Dawson in the role she debuted on The Mandalorian, the series will premiere in August and will feature the live-action debuts of multiple characters from the animated Star Wars Rebel series, including Grand Admiral Thrawn, played by Lars Mikkelsen, who is quite simply one of the most popular Star Wars characters ever, rivaling even Darth Vader. But if there's a thumbnail on a video that somebody took a picture, from Celebration, where they must have shown him from the front. On the trailer, we just saw it from behind. And there's a picture of Lars Mikkelsen, presumably as Thrawn, from the front. It doesn't look very much like Thrawn. as was said to me on a stream I did last week, it looks like Data. It looks like blue Data from Star Trek. So that's a bit of a red flag, or a blue flag, whatever you want to call it. And we've got Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Hera Syndulla, and I can't remember an actor. I can't remember your name as Sabine Wren. But they're coming back, and of course we saw Chopper as well, the droid. Tony Gilroy's Andor, and of course we saw Ray Stevenson as I forgot his name. As some sort of Sith Lord or something. Dooku-esque character, and he looked cool fighting Ahsoka. That looked good. Anyway, Tony Gilroy's Andor holds the title of the best Star Wars streaming show, and perhaps the best Star Wars anything. I won't go that far. But it were good. But Ahsoka, powered by Dawson's devotion to the fan favourite character and Thrawn's Hollywood close-up, is a contender for Disney Plus supremacy. When Ahsoka said, I started hearing whispers about Thrawn's return as heir to the Empire, a bit hokey though, that. It was a beautiful nod to the Star Wars novels of Timothy Zahn, where Thrawn debuted, and a hint to where this series will go. It was a bit obvious. And there's a tweet. Speaking of Andor, the second and final season is set to arrive in 2024. Topping its first season will be nothing short of a monumental achievement, but I'll settle for something just as good. Sorry, my eye were itching then. It was also announced... Oh, crikey, have I gone too far? Yeah, we go. It was also announced at Star Wars Celebration that The Bad Batch will have a third and final season in 2024, which, alongside upcoming second seasons of the groundbreaking and visually stunning Star Wars Visions, I wasn't impressed, and Star Wars Tales of the Jedi, which I was impressed by, particularly the Dooku parts, prove animation still has a place at Lucasfilm, and rightfully so, given the impact the Clone Wars had on this fandom. Fans got their first look at the previously announced Skeleton Crew starring Jude Law in a Star Wars tale of kids lost in space, which arrives on Disney Plus later this year. They showed clips in the hall, but we've seen nothing on YouTube yet of that or The Acolyte. Not even mentioned. Oh, it is good in a minute. That or The Acolyte. No sign of that. Anyway, starring Jude Law, proper wooden, as my mate would say. He don't like him. In a Star Wars tale of kids lost in space. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Which arrives on Disney Plus later this year. The origins of the evil Sith will be revealed on Disney Plus in the already in development Acolyte. Is it though? Or are they just doing a pilot / sizzle reel? Don't know. There's talk though that they're doing 4 episodes or something, and they're filming them now, and it's near the end. I don't know. We'll see. Which will connect the far past era of the High Republic taking place in Star Wars' most recent novels and comics with the era of the Star Wars prequels. More movies, more series, more animation. It looks like streaming is no longer this universe's only hope. We'll see. Some have suggested that one or more of these movies that they've announced could end up just going straight to Disney Plus. You never know. But I won't get excited. To be honest. I'm interested. I'm interested in the James Mangold one, 25,000 years ago. But if it just looks exactly the same, Star Wars ships and stuff like that as we see now, I think, well, what's the point in setting it 25,000 years ago if everything looks the same? Because I bet they do. But we will see. Will they have lightsabers? Will it show the first lightsaber being built, with a power lead and stuff? I don't know. I'm also interested in the Dave Filoni one, because it'd be interesting to see how that ends in the lead up to episode 7. But I couldn't give a monkeys about the Daisy Ridley one, to be honest. Couldn't give a monkeys. Don't mind Daisy Ridley, don't mind John Boyega and anybody else who appears in it. The actors are all fine. They do their jobs. It's the writing that is terrible, as a rule. Right, here we go. Lastly, for Star Wars, anyway, Galactic Empire premiere their metal take on the Battle of Hoth. I'm a bit of a metalhead. Bit of air there. Look what's left. My Battleborn T-shirt, great band. But they've this band, Galactic Empire, I think they do Star Wars metal stuff. Anyway, let's have a read. Star Wars themed metal band Galactic Empire premiere their take on the Battle of Hoth, taken from their upcoming record special edition due out May the 5th. So that's the Revenge of the 5th, isn't it? 2023 on Pure Noise Records. That song was originally composed by John Williams and the London Symphony Orchestra for the 1980 Star Wars classic The Empire Strikes Back. Check out now the Battle of Hoth streaming via YouTube and Spotify for you below. So we'll have a quick listen. I won't play it all, obviously, because I'll probably get done, but we'll have a quick listen. You ready? Right, we'll move it on a bit. Got to be careful. You know what, though? Although I do like a bit of metal, it's not my cup of tea. Anyway, tells Lord Seek, behold, our new single entitled The Battle of Hoth is now available for your oral consumption. You may recognise this musical jigsaw puzzle from the infamous snow battle sequence in The Empire Strikes Back, which is a great documentary someone made about us. Prepare for the final stage of Sonic Warfare before our Ultimate Weapon Special Edition is released on May the 5th. There will be no one to stop us this time. The pair of album releases, shows and events, are planned. A pair of album release shows and events are planned around that album's release, including Pennsylvania. Oh, so they're an American band, are they? So in Pennsylvania. They'll also be doing a special live stream concert on their Twitch a day prior on May the 4th, which is Star Wars Be With You, which is recognised as International Star Wars Day. That show will be a part of a streaming marathon. Also featuring the Acacia Strains, Vincent Bennett, Fallujah's, Scott Carstairs, and more. Proceeds from the event will go towards the Make-A-Wish 501st Legion funds. There we go. So, hang on, get rid of that. My computer wants to restart for some reason. It must have done an update. So there you go. So look into that. Look into the Galactic Empire and their Star Wars themed metal. Give them a whirl. Right, we'll move on. That was from metalunderground.com, by the way. Right, we're moving on to Star Trek now. Here we go. Star Trek Strange New World's biggest challenge lies in the characters. Well, yeah, it does. And there's Anson Mount as Captain Christopher Pike. Excuse me, I've got an itch on my foot. There he is. What's he doing there? Is he holding? Somebody's supposed to be holding a tennis ball, or somebody's stolen it from him. I don't know what's happened there. Anyway, as a prequel series to one of the most iconic and critically acclaimed television shows in history, that being the original Star Trek series that began in 1966, Star Trek Strange New Worlds had some pretty immense obstacles on the table from the moment it was first conceived. The series takes place before the events of the original series, when the USS Enterprise was still captained by Captain Christopher Pike, Anson Mount, who must lead his crew despite the knowledge that he will one day suffer a terrible fate, which he learned after removing a time crystal from the planet Boreth. I like Strange New Worlds. I did really enjoy the first season, apart from the finale. I know I keep saying that. But I kind of think of it as being in a separate timeline. Unless the Enterprise has a major refit and we see it looking like we saw the USS New Jersey in Picard Season 3, ends up looking like a proper original series Constitution class. If that doesn't happen, then it's a separate timeline for me. You know, like the Kelvin timeline, it's separate and it's not connected to what happens, you know, afterwards. In my opinion. Anyway, introducing fans to a brand new chapter in the history of the USS Enterprise, it's safe to say that Strange New Worlds has some pretty big shoes to fill, though oddly enough, showrunner Henry Alonso Myers says that the biggest challenge the show faces is figuring out who to prioritise among its vast cast of characters. Speaking to the women, basically. That's who they prioritise. They killed off one of the fellas, didn't they? Hemmer. Anyway, speaking to TrekMovie.com about the challenges of moving into the second season, Myers said, "One of the things that I wanted to do a correction on was that I feel like we weren't able to really touch on every single character. We've worked really hard to try to give every character their moment in the show. That's the hardest thing about the show." Well, they kind of did. Each of the main characters kind of had their own little story arc, didn't they? There were like Nooney and Singh with a Gorn story arc, and there's Pike and he's knowing what's going to happen to him. Dr. Mabenga and his bother with his daughter, which I didn't like how they kind of got rid of that too quickly. They polished that off too quickly. Then there were Hemmer, who was just killed off. Who else? Oh, and then we had number one. We found out that what her secret is. She's genetically engineered. So she gets arrested at the end of season 1, doesn't she? And who else? Oh, there's Uhura. We find out that she didn't know what she wanted to do until she did. And then the helmsman, I forgot her name. But she didn't do much, did she? She had a couple of moments, but we didn't really learn much about her. Oh, and Nurse Chapel. The dishy Nurse Chapel. Who likes Spock, obviously. Anyway, indeed, because the show is made up of an enormous ensemble cast that fills out the entire crew of the USS Enterprise, it's no wonder that the series struggles to give every character their moment, though Myers' comments make it clear that he plans to change that moving forward. What we're looking at here? We're looking at actually one of the good episodes where they kind of all went into like a medieval fantasy world on the Enterprise. That was a fun episode. I enjoyed that. As a prequel to the original Star Trek series, a huge number of the characters we meet within Strange New Worlds are actually younger versions of well-known characters from the greater Star Trek franchise. This includes Star Trek icons like Spock, Ethan Peck, Nyota Uhura, Celia Rose Gooding, and James T. Kirk, Paul Wesley himself. Paul Wesley. Who just looks like a scrawny... It doesn't look like James T. Kirk. It's too scrawny. As well as other original series favourites like Nurse Christine Chappell, Jess Bush, and Chief Medical Officer Joseph Mabenga, Babs Olasagnamuk, I'm saying that wrong. Also returning are several characters invented for the scrapped pilot of the original Star Trek series titled The Cage, and later repurposed into an episode called The Menagerie, in which Spock, Leonard Nimoy, recalls an early adventure with Christopher Pike. With all of these returning characters piled on top of the new characters introduced specifically for this series, it's no wonder that the showrunners have had a hard time giving every single character the attention they deserve. Henry Alonso Myers specifically referenced the fact that Erica Ortega's, Melissa Navia, was somewhat neglected in season 1. She kind of was. We didn't learn much about her. Saying that they went out of their way to give Ortega her own moment in season 2. Good. Myers also said that he and I didn't like her to start with. She was just a bit snarky, but she kind of grew on me. A lot of the characters actually grew on me. I didn't think I'd like Laan, Nooney and Singh, because I was thinking, why? Why have a Nooney and Singh on the Enterprise? Why didn't Spock mention something to James T. Kirk, during Star Trek 2 or Space Seed, more specifically? But the character grew on me. I did end up liking her. I thought she was all right. Myers also said that he and the writers would love to write stories for every member of the show's cast, and perhaps that desire will bear out in more little character moments moving forward through the second season of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Yes, I'm looking forward to it. I did enjoy it. I'm not looking forward to the Lower Decks crossover. That's going to be terrible because I hate Lower Decks. But I do enjoy Strange New Worlds. But, as I said, I'll kind of look at it as a separate timeline. It's not the prime timeline, in my opinion. Partly because of Laan, Nooney and Singh being on the ship, which kind of buggers it up, doesn't it? Spock never mentioning it. And other things, other things as well. And, most notably, the design of the Enterprise and its massive rooms with open fires. Unbelievable. But I do enjoy it. Like I say, you can enjoy something, but know that it's not perfect and it does have problems. But you can still enjoy it. Right, Star Trek's Jonathan Frakes cryptically teases Picard Season 3's ending. Exclusive, Jonathan Frakes drops a cryptic tease. I've just bloody read that. I hate it when they repeat stuff. Right, warning, potential spoilers for Star Trek Picard Season 3. I've read this one. There's not really any spoilers. Not really. Jonathan Frakes dropped a cryptic tease about the upcoming finale of Star Trek Picard Season 3. As Captain William T. Riker, Frakes has been in the thick of the action as Admiral Jean-Luc Picard, Patrick Stewart, fights to save the United Federation of Planets from enemy changelings, and Frakes has earned raves for his emotional and textured portrayal of Riker. He's been the best character in the show, by far, he has, honest. By miles, the best character in the show. Really good. Of course, Riker is a key part of the original Star Trek The Next Generation, which is now fully assembled at the end of Star Trek Picard Season 3, Episode 8, Surrender. And I did have a tear in my eye when it showed them all together. First, when it showed the beauty pass of the USS Titan and the Jerry Goldsmith music, I actually burst into tears. And then I got a little tear in my eye again a few minutes later when it showed the entire Next Generation cast round the conference table. It was amazing. In an upcoming exclusive interview with Screen Rant to raise awareness for Trek against pancreatic cancer, and it's a bit random, isn't it? And Pan-Can Purple Stride on April 29th, Jonathan Frakes, maybe Jonathan Frakes suffers from it, I don't know, or he knows somebody. Jonathan Frakes discussed the runaway success of Star Trek Picard Season 3. Frakes also offered the following enigmatic tease for Picard Season 3's finale. Read his quote and the exchange below. Right, Screen Rant. Is there anything at all you want to tease about the ending? Jonathan Frakes replied, nobody dies. Screen Rant, wow, that is actually big. It's a big tease. Okay, I haven't seen the ending yet, but obviously I'm dying to see how it all wraps up. Jonathan Frakes says, is that fact or fiction? What? That nobody dies? I don't know, you tell me. So there you go. That's his big tease. Nobody dies. And there's Marina Sirtis, who can't act, but she looks nice. Of course, Jonathan Frakes was slyly referencing his role in Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction, but fans certainly hope that Jonathan Frakes' ambiguous comment, nobody dies, comes true, especially in regard to the legacy cast of Star Trek The Next Generation. Now that the former crew of the USS Enterprise D, and E, don't forget, is all together, hopes are they can stop whatever attack the changelings plan against Starfleet on Frontier Day. I'm sure they will. Indeed, the return of Deanna Troi, Marina Sirtis, also literally opens the door to finally unlocking the secret of Jack Crusher, Ed Spaliers, the son of Picard, and Dr. Beverly Crusher, Gates McFadden, who has manifested frightening abilities. I think it's Par-Wraiths. Some have suggested the Borg, which is why they wanted Picard's body, but I don't know. I'm guessing Par-Wraiths with the red eyes and stuff, but we'll see. Frakes' Nobody Dies tease, however, does call back to an interview Star Trek Picard Season 3 showrunner Terry Matalas gave to SFX magazine. Matalas himself cryptically teased, I'm not going to say they all necessarily make it out safely of Season 3 in regard to the TNG legacy characters. Obviously, the stakes in Star Trek Picard Season 3's finale are galactic, with the fate of the Federation hanging in the balance. Jonathan Frakes' hint that nobody dies may be fact or fiction, but hopes are high. Star Trek Picard Season 3 ends in triumph and not tragedy for our Star Trek The Next Generation heroes. Star Trek Picard Season 3 streams Thursdays on Paramount Plus in America, Friday on Amazon outside of the USA. But I think if you subscribe to Paramount Plus through Amazon, I think you can see it on the Thursday. But I could be wrong. Because I don't subscribe to it through Amazon. I'm not that. I'm too tight to pay more. I already subscribe to MGM through Amazon, so I can watch my Stargates. But that just goes show, doesn't it, how much I think Stargate's probably better than Star Trek. Oh, heresy! I don't know. Anyway, so there we go. None of them die. I don't think any of them will die. I think they'll all come through and be heroes once again, and we'll see them all gathered. It'll be like the end of Episode 4, Star Wars Episode 4, New Hope, in the chamber where they all get medals. It'll be like that, and they're all lined up, getting a medal. And Riker will stand at the end and go, like that Chewie. Maybe. Or maybe not. But we will see. Right, that's it. That's all my news for today. Not that much. Mostly Star Wars, couple of Star Trek, but not a lot's been going on apart from Star Wars Celebration. Right, we'll leave it there. So, there we are. So, thanks for watching. Wherever you are, look after each other. And until next time, I'll see thee.